I will post this for general scientific curiosity. This is the IOL accuracy. If you have to get cataract surgery and you're nearsighted, you get your vision back. But here's a short, it's about 36 minutes. So a short portion, here goes.
This lecture will provide an update on biometry and IOL calculations. So over the next half an hour or so, we'll go over some of the latest developments and also just highlight a few things of importance that may or may not be well known or understood. So according to Doug Koch's paper in 2017, most surgeons hit the refractive target in around 76 to 80% of cases. That is within plus minus half a diopter of target. A minority of surgeons do better and are in the 90% plus range. And this might sound impressive, but even this means that 1 in 10 patients will miss the target by more than half a diopter, so there is still work to be done. With newer methods, newer formulae, newer machines, 90% within half a diopter of target is achievable by most surgeons. And really the only thing that is stopping us reaching this level is our own attention to detail. And it's important that we pay close attention to things like biometry, IOL selection, and obviously surgical technique. Nonetheless, technology is imperfect, and with currently available IOL models and biometry, 92% is considered the ceiling really of what we can achieve. In the future, with more accurate IOL production with tighter tolerances and improved biometry and formulae, it may be that we can more comfortably achieve the 95% mark. As a final point, our refractive accuracy is completely at the mercy of whoever is refracting postoperatively. The ideal is to have someone who is both accurate and honest, someone who will tell you exactly what the patient's refraction is without trying to please you by saying everyone is plano. So we'll now look at some of the recent advances in biometry devices. So over the last few years, we've seen great progress in the quality and versatility of biometry machines. Companies have improved acquisition time, the accuracy of keratometry, the ability to measure axial length even in dense cataracts, which has meant less reliance on A scans, and also given us the ability to measure a greater range of parameters with which some new formulae are making good use of. Some machines have other features which may facilitate things like toric or refractive surgical planning. So the machines that we have employ a range of different techniques to achieve accurate biometry. Partial coherence interferometry was the original and used with much success by the IOL Master 500. Optical low coherence reflectometry is a similar principle used by the Lenstar amongst others. And sweat source OCT is the latest technology to enter the domain, and this can be considered the gold standard nowadays for biometry. And this is used by the latest IOL Master, the 700, and also the Argos from Movu. So just a bit more detail on first the Lenstar and then the latest IOL Master. So optical low coherence reflectometry, as used by the Lenstar, is a similar principle to time domain OCT. The Lenstar offers more accurate keratometry than the previous version of the IOL Master, as it takes measurements from a greater number of points on the cornea. It's also better at getting through dense cataract, although not quite as good as the latest IOL Master. Both Tom Olson and Warren Hill have licensed their formulae to Haag Streit, which now come built in on the Lenstar. And it also has an optional add-on called the T-cone, which provides topography, and this is used to facilitate toric planning. Now, while this sounds very attractive, it actually means that when it comes to toric planning, you're sacrificing the excellent keratometry that the Lenstar provides and making way for the topography output, which actually isn't quite as good as other purpose-built topographers that are on the market. So I think if you're taking toric planning seriously, it's worth using the Lenstar, but then having a separate purpose-built topographer rather than using the T-cone. That's just my opinion. The latest IOL Master, the 700, is based on swept source OCT, as we said, and this involves a superluminescent diode light source that sweeps to and.
I would urge you to consider listening to the 36 minutes Rupa Wong uses the lens star to measure the refractive state of her kids, which is positive, of course, in 2020. Uh, as this man said, the result is finally who makes the actual refractive measurements. And as you now know, I make the objective final measurements since they're my eyes, and I certainly know how to do it after 15 years of practice. And I'm ultimately the person responsible for refractive accuracy for measurements that I must make. So the interest here, now I've admitted that kids have terrible nose on page habits. And I believe in the meta eye, the eye that controls itself to what you're looking at. It's a control system. And then the minus lens, supposedly to help you as a control system, it just makes the situation worse. But I still don't blame anybody. It's something we need to understand and stop doing it. Stop doing it by beginning prevention when you're 2040. So that's what I learned from Rupa Wong, and that's why she keeps her kids' eyes 20 inches from the page, and that will work from meta eye concept. But very few people have an interest. They don't want to help their kids by keeping their nose off the page. And I can't do anything about that. I just understand the consequences of letting a kid do that. Let's not blame anybody. The reality is that the eye is a control system, and our modern educational system creates a negative refractive state for the completely normal eye. After all, look at the Eskimos that Frank Young studied and recorded in detail. No education system, your refractive state will be about plus a half diopter, plus 1 diopter, and 20/20. It's all created by an educational system, which we love, but we're paying a price for it. And nobody has any ability to help it. Now, I post this because I had refractive surgery. I used a fixed lens and I requested near, which means I would get about 20/60 out of the surgery, and I did not complain. In fact, that was an opportunity to verify that I get my refractive state to change by a small amount, but still positive, and then 20/20. Not for you, but for me personally. And just to verify the meta eye concept as being correct for small values of change of refraction. So listen to the full presentation. I don't claim success, except for myself. And I do it out of curiosity and challenge. And I enjoy our conversations. But I think once you start wearing a minus lens, that's it. You're not going to get back out of it. I make no such claims. It's all up to you. So, but I'm an engineer and I like the concepts involved. And if possible, you can save your vision too when you have cataract surgery at age 60. So if you're 4 or 5 diopters or 6 diopters, that will save your vision. And you can start again with 20/20 from this cataract surgery. Accuracy is a half diopter, which is pretty good. Add your own commentary, and thank you.